we're going to try a little thought experiment. Now, let's just trade places with the people from a century ago. Now, what if the people from the 1920s had this technology at their disposal, at their grip? What kind of world would we be in by 2023 if the people from the 1920s had this technology? If the average person in the 1920s had a smartphone, where will we be? Where will we be in 2023? Where will we be? I think this is an interesting question to ask, because if you're gonna add this idea, then you can day by day, by practical application, master the best concepts of two ages. So you have capitalism that really came after the industrial age. But when I talk about the 1920s, a century ago, we're roughly talking about the industrial age. Now, the results of that collapse led to the age of capitalism. But precursor to that is the industrial age. Your Carnegies, people who are more focused on building a fortune based on their service to all of the world. This is what the average millionaire or billionaire's range was. Whereas in the information age, it's more about a platform that is the new industrial tool. So all of the buildings are here. So the only thing that we can build now is cyberspace and tech, because the whole physical landscape is present. So the only thing we can do now is operate in the realm of digital real estate. Unless we're building physical real estate in certain spaces, and there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of acres really at anyone's disposal, truth be told. But this doesn't get advertised because all of the attraction of advertisement revolves around the bigger cities. When a state is being advertised, they don't often show you the landscape of the countryside. It usually was the bustling life of the inner city to attract tourists. But when you're attracting owners, you don't just show them the metropolis. You'll show them, what's going on, the nucleus of where to get their resources from. But in large, it will be more about what they can own, what kind of open space is still available for retail, available for purchase. So these are mentalities to bring into combining two ages, to say if we were to switch places with the people of the 1920s. So imagine you're someone of the 1920s going through a stock market crash, a Great Depression. Look at this great reset and the way the tone of the world has changed since the pandemic, etc., and compare it to a century ago, and you realize that societally speaking, we're still on a hamster wheel. We're really running in place. The same things are still around. It's just that they change names and change styles. So for instance, let's take mind control. You'll go from MK Ultra to MK Often, or you may go from Operation Mockingbird to Operation Voice to Skull or Operation Bluebird. The names will change. You may go from the Philadelphia Experiment to the Montauk Project. The styles of things will change, but essentially they stay the same. So how do you navigate, every day? And what is the purpose of a subject like history, and why it's so important, whether they lie to you or not? You have to approach it like a person who's decoding a parable. You get the lesson in the story, whether it's true or not. Just get the lesson in the story. Anything that you're being presented with, whether it's a novel or a real account of historical fact, you take it the same way as how can you apply it in your life as a lesson learned that helps you add on and build. Because this is the kind of perspective you can take on life that will cause nothing but power to be the result of your exchanges, informationally speaking. It will always be to your benefit. Even if you're chewing up the meat and spitting out the bones, even in the bones, you'll be able to flip the bone over and see that, okay, I don't agree with this, but the reverse of this is true. I didn't consider the reverse of this thing that I now disagree with. This is how you take on different viewpoints, and this is training for people in the comments. Creators, respond to people in your comments, please. Do it. Doesn't matter if they're a machine or not. There's other things that's tracking your information, and if they see good etiquette, you will be promoted. Because one thing that's contagious amongst all cultures is great manners. Doesn't matter who's in charge, doesn't matter whether things are censored or not. If you're approaching what you do with good manners to the best of your ability, it's going to generally be accepted anywhere, even if you're not the best at what you do per se in your field. It will still shine because of its relatability and its range of marketability. So in a nutshell, when you do your history, when you read history, checking out historical accounts, combine the lessons of each age and each storyline, and you'll see how to add on where you can become your own oversoul, which is you're learning the lessons from many men to become the ultimate everyman.